I'm Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
I'm Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.
Welcome to MP3 with Marshall, Module, and Myron, three brothers, here to talk about politics, sports, entertainment, and anything else that's of interest during the week. We want to thank you for tuning in. Myron, let's get a start for today.
You never say three blood brothers, biological brothers. You know, the audience might think that we're just,
Three brothers, and with that too.
we need to explain that. We need to make sure you emphasize that, because they might just think we just, know each other.
No, I don't think that.
They might be able to tell from the video, the pictures that we favor. One is clearly more outstanding.
Good looking. They got the other two.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if they're related or not.
Right.
But,
Again, that's the reason why you need to tell us. That's my point. Because we clearly disagree on all of that.
That's right. Clearly,
so they need to know that we're biological brothers.
Right. Okay.
Okay. We don't always disagree. We disagree on that. Who's best looking? Data centers. That's the big topic now, and for a good reason. These big ones, and we're talking about the large ones, what they call hyperscale data centers. They use a lot of energy wherever they're built. They use a lot of water. They run up power bills. So
the water is for the cooling.
The water is the cooling, right?
Centers.
And they power artificial intelligence, AI. That's what we're talking about, the big hyperscale centers. So what we're finding, what is being found, is that a lot of companies, including Elon Musk, who owns Tesla and SpaceX and whatnot, they are building these centers disproportionately in communities, black communities. And this tracks with, unfortunately, historical trends. It kind of tracks with what we know about environmental racism.
Right.
Oftentimes, whether it's a power plant or it's the town dump,
right,
it's often put in a black community.
So where are they going to get? Yes, these data centers.
Yeah.
One, we have to determine whether all of these data centers are needed, because they're only going to be filling the pockets of the very wealthy.
Yeah.
That's step one.
Yeah.
But step two is, where are they going to get, in their mind, in the people that are building the data centers, whether it be Elon Musk or whatever billionaire, fill in the blank that you want to name, where they're going to get the least resistance from.
And that's what companies look at.
Right.
Because
which is typically communities of color.
That's right.
Because if you think about it now, if they were building the data center, they were getting the data center around where I live, then that'd be a little bit of resistance, but not much. Yeah. Where you live, a little bit more resistance.
I know where you're going.
Where Marshall lives,
go there.
they wouldn't even think about stiff resistance. They wouldn't even think about going over there. As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But traditionally, communities of color don't have the resources and to be able to fight against, because if you go to a more affluent neighborhood, first of all, they're going to fight you with public forums and all that. Right. And if you still don't do right, they're going to sue you and make sure that you don't come in their community. And that takes money.
Yeah. And we have to be sincere about this. Now we have to be truthful about this. People have a tendency to be less informed in the black community. Wouldn't you agree with that? They're less informed about what's going on. They're not reading the building plans for down the road. They're not keeping up with those type things. So
usually,
and then all of a sudden, by the time they get around and get galvanized, the places already. We're much better at that now than we used to be. Right. But by the time they get galvanized and get everybody together, the place is too big. A good example is our mother and father's neighborhood. They built a whatever that is right out front of the neighborhood.
One of the local power companies.
One of the local power companies. And then by the time even our parents were informed about
regulators, what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they would have never done that in your neighborhood. They would have never done that. They've never done that in your neighborhood. Yeah. They might have done it in my neighborhood. Right. I don't know. But by the time people got galvanized, the place was already up. Now they did put a nice, pretty wall in front of it.
They
all
did,
that kind of stuff.
Right.
It looks good now.
It looks
you
good.
can't even tell what's back there now. As a matter of fact, you ride by and you say to yourself, what is that? But
this does fit historical patterns, and this is people need to understand this is a real threat. We talked about some of the environmental concerns, but that was only part of the list. There's a noise that comes with these things. There's a hum that people who live nearby tell you just drives them crazy. It also raises literally the temperature level Now, how would that be in a place like, Fayetteville, where we're already dealing with 100 plus degrees days, a string of them? So there's all kinds of effects. And then some data center operators, I'm calling out Elon Musk, are taking some shortcuts. So there's a huge data center they're building up, a couple data centers, the Colossus. I mean, that tells you how big it is right there.
On the corner of Mississippi and Tennessee State.
That's right. XAI data center, right. And so what they're finding, so one way as a backup power source is diesel generators. Okay, so this is where data centers will say, okay, well, we won't use as much of the power grid. We got these diesel generators. The problem is that's the most kind of pollutant in terms of actual air pollutants you could put out there. It's the worst case scenario.
It's already affecting the lung capacity of the minority community, black community around it. Already.
Correct. And he built 59 of them without proper permitting.
Right.
So in addition to the publicly known things he's doing that are particularly harmful with these data centers to the community Marshall mentioned, he's also building 59 additionally polluting sensors that were off the books.
He wouldn't be a proper billionaire if he didn't violate the rules.
Yeah.
That's what billionaires do.
Billionaire and occasional trillionaire.
And trillionaires.
Depending on how his stock is doing. Literally.
And when you have that type of money, the rules, they actually fail. And that's the reason why it's so important that the people get together and try to stop these things. But the rules do not apply to you. If you got $1 trillion in your pocket, if you're worth $1 billion, the rules do not apply. And that's all of them now. It just doesn't apply to you. The same rules, they're not going to go down to the city and say, you know what, I need a permit. They're not going to do that. They're going to start building and worry about the consequences later.
The proper term is that they're saying you have FU money. And so when you have FU money, I remember sitting on this board with some very, very, very wealthy people. And there's one particular guy, he was doing all this kind of things. And
I saw that too. He tried to distinguish himself.
No, I wasn't. I was a pauper based on that board. But anyway.
Okay.
This board has some money.
This one guy just, he was just saying anything. I was like, does anybody not notice that this guy's just totally obnoxious and being rude? And they said, oh, you can't. He's got a few money. Just leave it alone. Just let it
go. And unfortunately, and of course, like we said, Musk, who became, at least temporarily, the first world's trillionaire. So that's, money out the FU money out the wazoo. Yeah. So some of these communities that are being hit, places like Bessemer, Alabama, Clarksdale, Mississippi, Memphis, and other parts of Tennessee, they have a few things in common. And two of them are, there's a history of disinvestment, which means the state is not investing in these places already,
correct,
which leads to problems, and a significant black population.
So now, think about this for a second. And it's not, think about this for a second, guys. Now, think about this now. That's a conversation that people are having. Elon Musk and his team, whoever's putting it, they're saying to themselves, we can build here. Because that's mostly black. And that's all white people in the room.
Yeah.
Not all just all white people. That's all white males in the room.
Right.
And they're saying to themselves, we can build here because we're not going to get any resistance.
Or very
little resistance. And if they do get resistance, no one cares.
Right.
No one is going to be, there's not going to be enough power to stop. They're actually having those conversations. They're saying to themselves, where can we build this and have the least amount of worry about permits, the least amount of worry about those type of things. We can build it here,
which has always been the conversation. There's been historically that's how they've done it.
And
if they identify the black communities or people that they know don't have the voice or the power behind them to put up any resistance or the resources, and that's where they stick them. Now, but a lot of times it wasn't even extremely poor neighborhoods, like when they did the interstates in the country. They ran a lot. One of the main places they ran the interstates through were through black neighborhoods. And a lot of those black neighborhoods were decent neighborhoods. They weren't run down or whatever. They were,
at that time
people doing fine. Then all of a sudden the government comes through and said, we're taking your land.
Yeah.
And so they've always done this kind of thing and striking at minority communities when it comes to
and one thing, I mean, there's a story on this, it's a site called the 19th, which is named after the 19th Amendment, does really good work, particularly on issues involving black people and minorities. But they're reporting there is a resistance movement developing. But as you can see, whoever tries to fight these things is going to be behind the 8 ball. But
you're
why
trying to fight against a beacon?
Try to fight, right? And often against your own state officials who want to bring
not just
this money in
because they're leveraging the state officials,
right? And often with incentives, to build, with promises that turn out like past industrial projects turn out not to be what it's cracked out to be in terms of jobs and all that type stuff. So there is a tough road to hoe, but I am encouraged that people are understanding, they are rallying and coming together. And in fact, that's not just in black communities, that's communities across the country, because the second place they like to go is rural communities, where they figure they'll encounter less resistance there. And that's oftentimes white communities, but they're rural. But again, they have the same challenges, fewer resources, fewer ability to organize, maybe not as much,
fewer access to the levers of power.
That's right. All so it's a fight we're all in.
But we'll see how it all works out. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that. We got to wrap this up. I am Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
I'm Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.